It's your boy, Amreezy, and I'm here with an episode of This Week on StocksFC for the week commencing March the 25th, 2024. Now, this is the first video of a new series that I'm doing where I'm going to be taking a weekly look at StocksFC and the world of football and how those two beautiful worlds combine. I say first video of a new series. It is technically the second video. The first video that I did last week, that was on my first stocks that I bought on StocksFC. So if you're a beginner and you've not played StocksFC, go check out my first video where I do briefly explain the game. You can see that on the channel. Go look that up. I briefly explain the game. If you want more of an in-depth look, go look at the StocksFC website, check out the white paper, look at other content creators out there making in-depth guides to StocksFC. It's a great platform where you buy stocks that are football players and then you trade them. It's brilliant. I'm hooked. I'm in. And because I'm so into this game at the moment, I'm going to start making a weekly series where I look at the game. This week on StocksFC. This is my new series. So if you've been on the channel before, if you've seen my videos before, I've been mainly making Sorare videos for the last 6 or 7 months. Go check them out if you like that sort of stuff. That's on my YouTube channel. This is like a new series within the same channel. It's all about football, basically. We're still talking about football, but this time about StocksFC. What I'm going to be doing is taking a look at the previous weekend, who the main stocks that got rewards were, who's in the team of the week. Then I'm going to be sort of showing you my journey because I'm a beginner. I've only been doing StocksFC for about 2 or 3 weeks at the moment. So I'm a beginner on StocksFC. So I'm going to be showing you my journey as well. The stocks I'm buying, the stocks I'm selling, my reasoning for that. And then I'm going to be talking about football in general and previewing the weekend ahead and how that affects StocksFC and the kind of stocks that you could think about buying, because one of the great aspects of this game is that you can buy players ahead of a weekend. You think they're going to do really well. Buy a few stocks. They do really well. The price goes up. You get some rewards because you earn rewards on any stocks, remember. They go up and you can then sell that stock, make a nice bit of profit. Keep repeating that. That's basically my tactics. So my kind of philosophy, my sort of technique, I'm going to show you my portfolio in a bit. My portfolio at the moment, I've added a bit more money since the last time. My technique is going to be a few long-term holds, maybe half, maybe a bit more than half to start off with. But then I want half long-term holds, half just punts for a few weeks that I think this player is going to do well for the next few weeks. Sell them, make profit, repeat until I am a billionaire and we are full Wolf of Wall Street up in here. So that is the intro. That's StocksFC. This is what this new series is going to be about. So let's get started by taking a look at the world of StocksFC last week. Right then, so these are the top performing stocks from last week, from the team of the week. So the team of the week was, as you can see here, not a full 11 this week because, and the interesting thing about StocksFC during this international break that we're currently in is that there weren't enough stocks to form the team of the week. So I think it's a good time to be on StocksFC. It's still early. They don't have the stocks for all the players yet. It's still growing. It's a growing platform. We're in nice and early. So join now. And if you are joining, little plug here. If you are joining, use my link that's going to be in the description. It'll give you 3 free stocks on loan for a month. Help the channel out. Would be appreciated. But don't just go on Google and sign up to StocksFC without using someone's link. Use someone's link. I'd like it if you used mine. Just use someone's though. So yeah, it's a good time to join. And one of the interesting things about the StocksFC world at the moment is things like this international break that we're currently in. We had games at the weekend. There's a few games happening midweek, and then we're going to go back to Premier League at the weekend. But because of the midweek, the team of the week this weekend doesn't have a full 11. And, you know, it was interesting because I did see a lot of people in the Discord group, by the way, great Discord group for StocksFC, join the Discord. I did see people in the Discord who had preempted this international break. It was a bit too early for me. I've only been on the platform for about 2 or 3 weeks. But I saw people who'd said that they bought Endo stocks, they bought Simecas stocks in preparation for this international break because they knew there weren't going to be enough players for team of the week. And if you look at the payout per stock, Endo, 25p per stock payout. Mavropanos, 23p per stock. So same with Ben Johnson. So if if you had those players and you prepared for this break, it's a good time at the moment, international breaks. I can see, maybe next season, maybe in future seasons when there's lots more stocks, these international breaks aren't going to be as rewarding because there's going to be so many stocks available. It's going to be more like a normal Premier League week, I guess. So it was very interesting. Your top 5 stocks, though, this week were Tsimikas, 71 points. Again, interesting stocks, not really ones you'd probably think of having for the league. Like, you probably want Andy Robertson at Liverpool, but international break works for Tsimikas. Mavropanos, the West Ham defender, 56 points. Nico Williams, 53 points. Harry Wilson, 52 points. And Son at Spurs, 51 points. They're your top 5 stocks from the team of the week. As you can see here, we've not even got full 11. We've not got a goalkeeper, not got that extra attacker, the extra midfielder. So it's weird seeing the team of the week here like this, but this is what it was. And interestingly, 2 of these players were in the IPOs last week, Nico Williams and Harry Wilson. I ended up getting a few Nico Williams. Once I saw that he scored for Wales, I was like, he's going to get a goal return. He's going to make team of the week. I was like, I was tempted. I was on the fence, and then he did that. And I was like, okay, I'm going to get some stocks in the IPOs. Quickly, if you don't know how it works, they do 3 IPOs a week. These are new stocks that come on the market, and then all the rest get burned that don't get bought. And Nico Williams came on. We can see the ones that came on if we go on the transfer market. We can see that the 3 ones that came on last week were Harry Wilson, Nico Williams, and Zabani at Bournemouth. I ended up going for a few Nico Williamses. Didn't go for Wilson just because I don't like that he doesn't get minutes. He doesn't get regular minutes at Fulham. And Zabani, I didn't really trust Bournemouth's defense. I feel like, and I've still got to work out the scoring mechanism on here, but I feel like defenders should be fairly attacking, or at least that's what I'm kind of seeing. The defenders making the team of the weeks, team of the months are fairly attacking, that create chances. Like Dallo always seems to be doing well. So with that scoring matrix in mind, I thought Nico Williams would be a good pick because he's very attacking. I every time I see him, he does look promising. He's got a good cross on him. And, I've seen people in chats around StocksFC saying maybe Nico Williams wasn't a good buy because what if Forest get relegated? They've just had the 4-point deduction. What if they get relegated? I think if they do get relegated, I trust that Nico Williams is good enough to move to another Premier League team. And that's a big if. I do still think there's a lot of talent in that Forest team. There's a lot of money in that team. They've still got, 10 odd games to play for the season. I think they can still gel and beat the likes of Luton, Sheffield United, Burnley, maybe even Bournemouth. They still could finish above those teams with the talent that they have. Maybe even Everton as well. Throw them down in the battle. So I thought it was worth a pump. But I'll reveal my portfolio later in the video. Now we're just talking about the last week. So last week, it was an international break. I've shown you the team of the week, who the top scorers were in the international break. Next week, it'll be more traditional team of the week. We'll have the big hitters. I'll be back. But it was interesting this week, seeing a team of the week made with some unusual players, unusual stocks that if I'd have been playing a month ago, I would have preempted this and gone. I probably would have bought a few Endos. I probably would have bought a few Simakases. And I would have been cashing in now, Wolf of Wall Street style, throwing money in the air. But for now, we're happy that I got a few Nico Williamses and he's given me a reward already. So that's a little brief overview of last week. I did mention my portfolio a little bit. Let's now take a look at my portfolio, who I've bought since my last video. So here are the boys, here are the stocks. This is what I'm rocking now, people. In my first video last week, if you've not seen that again, go and check it out and give the channel a like and a subscribe while you're there. Come on, help me out. It's a new channel here, new series about StocksFC. If you like StocksFC or you're interested, give me a like and a subscribe. It helps the community, it helps other StocksFC. You'll get recommended other StocksFC content. It's all good. But yeah, in that video, I showed you, I think my first stocks that I bought were Justin Kluivert, some mistakenly bought stocks, and Phil Foden. I think they were the first 2 stocks that I'd bought. Since then, as you can see, I've increased the budget. I did say, we'd be going close to £100 now. And I've bought, I think, the stocks that if I was playing with more money, I think I'd buy the same stocks, but just more of them. I think these are the stocks I would buy regardless of my budget. So I think it's good to talk about these, and regardless of your budget, if you're playing with less money, it's still useful. If you're playing with more, I would just times some of these stocks by 5 if I had a bigger budget, but I'm playing carefully. I'm going to slowly increase the budget. This is how I play these kind of games. I don't go all guns blazing. I don't throw thousands of pounds straight away. I put in £100. I put in a little bit and then I see. That's how I've played Sorare. You know, I do have a channel on this about Sorare if you want to see that. I slowly played Sorare, increasing slowly. And I'm still doing that, by the way. And that's what I'm doing here. So the big stocks that I've gone for are Enzo Fernandez and Rodri. Rodri, because he just scores crazy, and I've seen his price did have a little bit of a dip, possibly because of an international break, but Rodri's scores were up here, and I think he's likely to make team of the season, so he should get a nice team of the season payout. So in anticipation of that, I got him around here with this mini little upsurge. I'm hoping that surge continues up. If you look at his trend, he did have a dip here. It does seem to be picking back up again. I'm hoping we get back up to these kind of numbers and we get rewards like Team of the Months, Team of the Seasons. He's just a great player who I think is a long-term hold. I'd like to have got more stocks, but I just couldn't get in at a decent price. I got in at like 0.136 possibly. I bought all of the stocks available there, and then the next jump up was 140, and I just thought, I don't like that jump up. If he has a dip, I might try and buy more stocks in the future for Rodri. But at the moment, I wanted some Rodris in the portfolio. So he was the kind of like what I feel is a guaranteed point scorer. Should get a lot of in-play points. Should make a lot of team of the weeks. Happy I've got Rodri. And then Enzo Fernandez. I'm a Chelsea fan. He's one of my favorite players. He also scores really well. Could make team of the season as well. So he's what I have the most of. And he was cheaper than Rodri, so I could get a few more. So I got 10 Enzo Fernandez stocks, 9 Rodri stocks, and then I bought 5 stocks of a few players. They were Ben White, Ivan Toney. Ben White, my thinking was Arsenal could have, I've got a sneaky feeling Arsenal might push for the title. I think Liverpool's squad depth isn't as good, possibly. City and Arsenal, I can see battling for it. And, I think all 3 teams are going to take it to the wire. Ben White's a key part of that Arsenal defence. Him and the centre-backs are fairly nailed on. It seems like the left-back's the only rotating spot in the back 4. So Ben White, I've thought. And also, there's a lot of chat about him not being in the England squad, which I think is why his price might have dipped a little bit. So I thought it was a good time to get him at a good price. And then I think, possibly Ben White could come back into the England team. There's a bit of talk at the moment with Declan Rice saying he's going to try and get Ben White back in the England team. And I think, maybe he gets back in the England squad, maybe he gets in the Euro squad. Even if he doesn't get in the Euro squad, I think he's a good pick sort of just as someone to cover that Arsenal defence, basically. And then Toney was a bit of a gamble for me. But again, his price has dipped, Toney. Since he came back from his gambling ban, his price sort of peaked. He got a few points. He's had a bit of a dip in form. That's made his price come down. But I fancy Toney to finish the season strong, mainly because I think he's going to be playing for a transfer. He wants to move. He's made no secret about the fact that he wants to leave Brentford. And the best chance of him getting a good move is if he puts in some good performances towards the end of the season to get that move. So in anticipation of that, and if he moves, I think his stock could go up in price. If he goes to, say, one of the big teams, then I think his price could go up because people will expect, especially if he goes to a team where they need a striker, then I think there'll be a bit of a buzz about Toney. So I've got 5 Toney stocks. I got 5 Salah stocks. Liverpool are a team that I think, again, I want to target City, Arsenal, and Liverpool for the end of the season. Salah's the guy. His price has dipped. I think possibly because people think he might leave Liverpool at the end of the season. And if he leaves outside the Premier League, which is probably likely, he's not going to be covered in points. But I think there's enough time before the end of the season for him to get some rewards for you, to get some team of the season possibly. And then he might stay at Liverpool. So then I think if it's confirmed, I think the ideal scenario is he signs a contract extension. If he signs a contract extension to stay a bit longer at Liverpool, stock price could go well up. So in anticipation of that, got me 5 Salahs. Got me some Nick Popes. Nick Pope's injured, but I've seen that he's going to return back from injury soon. Newcastle goalkeepers haven't really been that convincing in his absence, so I think he's going to walk back into the team. So I've got 5 Nick Popes at a really good price. If he comes back, his price again could go crazy. Watkins at Villa, another player who I've got because I think his price has dipped because his form has dipped, but I just don't see Watkins staying at this level for a while. He's proved he can score a lot of goals for Villa. They don't really have any other striking options. So I think Villa, and they're still in Europe, Villa. So I just think Villa have still got a lot to play for. Form needs to pick up, but I think they've got the quality. Watkins has shown he's the number one guy for them. I'm tipping him to reform. I've got 4 Watkins stock, not 5. The reason being, I think I tried to get 5 and couldn't. So I got 4, and then his price went up a little bit. I don't think there was any more stocks, and I didn't want to pay a higher price than what I paid for him. So I was a bit stubborn with the Watkins one and got 4 stocks instead of 5. Then there's the loan stocks who are still here until the 6th of April. I've still got 1 or 2 weekends with them where I can get into rewards. I've not got anything from Adebayo. I've not got anything from... I've got a little bit for Casemiro. Dalot has given me 7p. He's on my scouting list, Dalot. If I invest a bit more money maybe in the future weeks or get some rewards or sell some stocks, he's one of the defenders I'm looking at possibly getting maybe for next season. We'll see. I'm going to monitor Dalot, but at the moment I've got his stocks. And then the last one is Clivert, who I'm trying to sell, but no one's buying him. So I'm going to give him another weekend. Hopefully he plays for Bournemouth. And if he does well, I might not sell him after all, but I'm trying to sell Clivert. We don't really want him in the portfolio for much longer. But the rest of the stocks, I'm happy with keeping for a while. And I'm going to play it week by week. Let's see next week if I buy any more. Let's see next week if I've sold any. Yeah, I'll keep you informed on the channel. Stay tuned for that. Let's now take a little preview at the weekend coming and what that means for the old StocksFC. So I've put on screen my 5 key fixtures, I think, for this weekend. If you're considering buying some stocks and kind of doing some short-term trading, maybe gambling that one of these players does really well, maybe gets 2 or 3 goals, unlikely, maybe 2 or 3 goal contributions is more likely. And then you can sell them for a quick profit or keep them for a while. So first fixture I put is Spurs v Luton. I think after an international break, this given Spurs a bit of time to regroup. Their form had been a bit shaky before the international break. I just think after the international break, it's given them some time. Luton at home, even though Luton are giving a lot of good teams a good game, I still think Luton are there for a big beating or are there for conceding a lot of goals. So I wouldn't necessarily target some Spurs defenders, but Son, if you've got Son, you're laughing. Great fixture for him this week. I've got him up here, Son, and the reason why I'm not getting Son is because I'm looking at his graph, and I've done a bit of basic trading with stocks in the past, and I don't usually like to buy when at the peak. So StocksFC is still young. When we're looking at graphs, it's still there's a small data range that we have, but I kind of trade off what we have. And what we have is these are Son's peaks, and these are his dips. And he's currently approaching a peak. So I don't really want to get Son here. I want to wait until he gets injured or he gets suspended or Spurs form goes off and his price goes back to these kind of points. So I'm not going to get Son. A player that I probably would possibly think about getting some stocks in is Kulusevski. And I did have a few orders for him because, he had some peaks here. His price is nice and low here now. If he puts a good run together, and he is getting regular minutes for Spurs, I'd possibly think about getting him. I did have some orders for Kulusevski a while ago, but I ended up spending most of my... If you look back at my portfolio, most of my budget's been spent now. So I ended up cancelling my orders for Kulusevski because no one sold me at the right price. But I think it's a good opportunity for Kulusevski. The other fixture, I'm going to be a little bit biased every time I recommend Chelsea. However, this week, Chelsea are playing Burnley at home. I'm an optimistic Chelsea fan. I'm always an optimistic fan. I think Chelsea have shown enough to show that possibly they're on a bit of an uptrend, And if they are, Burnley at home is a good fixture. The stocks that are available to Chelsea are limited. I think I'd ideally want Jackson. I'd ideally want Cole Palmer. But I think with the stocks that are available, Enzo Fernandez, if you've not got Enzo Fernandez, I think that's a nice little short-term trade if you're wanting someone to invest just for this weekend. Enzo Fernandez could be a good pick. Sterling could be a big good pick as well. He's on the platform and at a fairly kind of decent price. However, his form has been hit and miss with Sterling. He has been getting some criticism lately. He did miss that penalty. I think it would be harsh of Pochettino to drop him now. I mean, Pochettino, in my opinion, should have dropped Sterling a few games ago. The fact that he hasn't, and he's under so much pressure now, I just think that maybe this week he gives him one more week and goes, if he doesn't deliver this week, fine, I drop him. So Sterling, look at his price. It's really come down now. If you want to gamble that Sterling is Pochettino's boy, which it could be, he's an option. However, I wouldn't go there just because I just don't think he should be in the Chelsea starting lineup. I think it should be Palmer, Mudryk, and Gallagher. I just don't think Sterling should be. However, I think there's a good chance Sterling is there. And then against Burnley, maybe he nicks another penalty and scores it. Maybe if he gets a game, he scores, and then he's back in the sort of team again. So Sterling's one. And if you want to think about a defender, Chilwell could be a defender. Chilwell played for England, so he's back to fitness. There was an injury doubt before the international break about Chilwell, but he's played for England, so he's fit. He should play, but Cucurella could also play. You never fully know, but against Burnley, lots of attacking threat from Chilwell. That's who I'd go for Chelsea. I do have a standing order with Reece James at Chelsea because he's due to come back from injury and kind of his price has dropped while he's been injured. I'm hoping to pick up a few Reece James stocks, which is why I'm not really going to go for Chilwell. But Chelsea, some good options. Man City, Arsenal. It's another big game. I've got Rodri. Saka is not on the platform. When I'm thinking of players this game week who I'd want to have, Saka would be the one from Arsenal who I'd want to go for. I feel like this game could have a lot of goals. Both defenses aren't the most solid, and they like to attack a lot. And I think this game could be a really good attacking game. So if Haaland was on the game, if other City attackers were on the game, I think. There's no Haaland, but there is Julian Alvarez. You could go for Alvarez. There's no Saka, but I think Martinelli is on there. The stocks are being spread out really awkwardly on my screen. I'm not sure why, but Martinelli is on there. And you can see here, he's dipped a little bit as well, Martinelli, recently. His stock value is a little bit low. If he puts a few good performances together, his stock price should go up. Puts him in team of the month contender. Maybe he pushes. If Arsenal have a title run, Martinelli should be playing most of the games. So you could possibly think about him for this game week. The other game is Villa Wolves. I think this could be an interesting game because Villa's form has dipped lately. But I think they need to get back up. They're fighting for a Champions League place. So Spurs and Villa, both their form has dipped. But one of them is going to come good. One of them is going to get that fourth place. So I think it's worth gambling on. I've got Watkins. That's who I'm going for. You might want to think about Douglas Luiz. His stock price is a bit expensive, but he does have a high payout because there's not many Douglas Luiz stocks. So you might want to think about him. Possibly Sarabia is a player at Wolves, who I think I considered him. He was one he was one of those stocks that I did have an order for, because his price has come down since his peaks. He takes the set pieces for Wolves, so there's a good chance of key passes, him getting in-play rewards. Sarabia, I'd think about possibly for this week, because I can see this game going either way. I can see Villa turning up and having a surge. It's a derby game. They're both going to be up for it. But also, Wolves are in good form as well. So Wolves are in better form. So Sarabia could do well for them. Other Wolves players, maybe even a clean sheet, because Villa haven't been good at home lately. But then again, I can also see Villa being up for this, because it's like, if ever they're going to change their form, it'll be the derby game. So I've got Watkins. That's who I'm going for. But I wouldn't begrudge. I wouldn't, say you were crazy if you went for a Sarabia pick. And then Brentford Man United is the last game that I think could be interesting this week. After an international break, Brentford could turn their form around. Again, I just see international breaks as a good chance for teams that are struggling to change their form. Brentford possibly could be one of those teams. And then Manchester United have been on a bit of a good run lately. There is a bit of it seems like some green shoots there. So from the players that are available at Manchester United, Bruno Fernandes, I suppose, would be the one that I'd go for. Although he doesn't fit my strategy of buying stocks while they're high, he's at his highest really he's ever been since he joined the platform. So I wouldn't go there, but if I had to pick one, that's the stock I'd say. And Ivan Toney is one at Brentford, who I've said earlier in the video. That's who I'd go for in this game. I've got some Toney stocks, so that's what my thinking is. Let's see if it pays off. Those are my tips for fixtures for the week. Let me know in the comments who you're going for this week, what stocks you're buying. Let me know what stocks I should be buying. All advice is really appreciated at this stage. I am a beginner in StocksFC at the moment. I do consider myself to know a lot about football. My football knowledge it's up here, but my StocksFC knowledge is kind of here. So the way I'm playing StocksFC is just using my football knowledge and seeing if it translates into StocksFC. If you've got any sort of trading tips, any tips that are just for StocksFC that only people who know about StocksFC would know, let me know in the comments. Like and subscribe as always, people. Good luck if you're playing StocksFC. If you're just joining the StocksFC, use my link in the description for 3 free stocks on loan. Good luck all my StocksFC traders. I'll see you next week. Peace.